Warm greetings to all. Even though it is a time of COVID-19 pandemic spread social distancing, it is happy to teach you again through online. I hope this session will be useful and helpful. So today we are going to learn about 12th standard first unit, the poem The Castle by Edwin Muir. The poem is about how a mighty castle betrayed by one of its inhabitants. In simple, we can say how greed led to its destruction. So it is written in the form of monologue, and the whole narration was expressed by a faithful soldier who had been lodged in the castle for a long time. The author has also discussed few qualities like strength, greed, and regret. Hope, hope you are all ready with your writing materials to take down the notes. So let us see about the author. So Edwin Muir was a Scottish poet. So he was a renowned, famous Scottish poet, a novelist, and a translator and a critic. He was born on a farm in Dearness, a parish of Orkney. So he was remembered for his vivid poetry. Vivid means obvious, clear-cut poetry. He began writing poetry at a relatively old age. Because he lost his parents at the age of 14, he he worked in the factory in his earlier stages. So all these depressing experiences enabled him to write poetry. So later he gained his recognition for his philosophical poetry. So Muir's initial attempts were the first poems and the chorus of the newly dead. So later he wrote some other famous works. They are The Narrow Place, The Voyage and Other Poems, The Labyrinth, and One Foot in Eden. So let us see the poem. So before entering the poem, let me ask you a few questions. So what do you mean by a castle? So it is a building which is architecturally prepared for the battles. So what comes to your minds when you hear the word castle? Maybe the turrets, the rampart, the soldiers, huge walls, strong gates. So what was the castle used for? In the medieval period, castles maximum used for war. Main theme of the poem is greediness is so destructive and destroys everything. So this poem contains 6 stanzas. We will divide it into 2 parts. The first part deals with the strength of the castle and the second part deals with its downfall. So let us analyze the poem in stanza wise. The first stanza, all through that summer at ease we lay, and daily from the turret wall we watched the movers in the hay, and the enemy half a mile away they seemed no threat to us at all. All through that summer at ease we lay. Here the word we refers to this the narrating soldier and his colleagues. So the in the whole poem only the summer season is mentioned. So the soldiers had been in the castle all throughout the summer in a relaxed manner. So they were totally stress-free and lay comfortably. Ease means being comfortable and relieved. And daily from the turret wall. What do you mean by turret? A turret is a small tower on top of a castle, as you seen in the picture. That is called a turret. So through the turret, we watch the movers in a hay. So what do you mean by who are called the movers? The movers are the people who trim and level the grass. So here, through the turrets, they were able to watch the movers who trim grass and level the lawns. And the enemy half a mile away, they seemed no threat to us at all. They watched the movie, sorry, they watched the movement of the enemy from the high defensive walls. That means from the towers through the turret walls. So no enemy was found up to the distance of half mile, and so it seemed no threat to the castle. So the soldiers were really relaxed and being comfortable. Here, the first stanza, the poet describes the physical strength of the castle. Next, the second stanza. For what we thought had we to fear, with our arms and provender load on load, our towering battlements tire on tire, and friendly allies drawing near on every leafy summer road. Here, the second stanza described the provisions, arms, weapons, and other facilities which enabled them to be confident. Moreover, friendly nations were coming to help them. So they had no need to get fear because with our arms and provender. So the provender means food and arms means weapons. They had plenty of weapons to protect and a large quantity of resin in stock to take care of the well-being of the soldiers. Our towering battlements are tire and tire. The soldiers were stood one above the other on the tower watching to shoot the enemies at sight. So the towering battlements means tall towers with openings to shoot the enemies as you seen in the pictures with the small gaps. And friendly allies are drawing near. Friendly allies means helpful countries. So the helpful countries were come came to them to help on every leafy summer road. So due to the summer season, the road were covered with the leaves. So they mentioned every leafy summer road. So the helpful country, that means the friendly allies came to them to help through the leafy summer road. Next, the third stanza. Our gates were strong, our walls were thick, so smooth and high, no man could win a foothold there. No clever trick could take his death or quick. Only a bad could have got in. So here there was a gate. So they had a gate which was strong, and their walls were thick, so smooth and high. So it states it's a monumental structure through the words strong, thick, and high. No man could win a foothold there. The possibility for a man to surmount and conquer it is almost unthinkable. Almost unthinkable. So, no method could be used to trap the soldiers alive or dead. So, here, quick means alive. So there was a foothold in the castle. A foothold means advantageous position. Normally, an area of a castle awaiting further troops and castle. The soldiers were very brave, so no one could enter the castle by trick. Only a bird can fly over the bird and enter the castle. So here what the author wants to convey is so no method could be used to trap the soldiers alive or dead. So here the beautiful description of the castle is described. Fourth stanza. What could they offer us for bait? Our captain was brave and we were true. There was a little private gate and a little wicked gate. The wizened warder led them through. What could they offer us for bait? Bait means something intended to entice someone to do something. Normally, it is used to lure victims into danger. So the soldiers had enough courage because he told that our captain was brave and we were true. So the soldiers were totally stress free because they said their captain was brave and we were true. We were true means here the soldiers and his colleagues were true to their profession. Next, there was a little private garage. So this is the private gate. You can see many big size gates had a small private gate. A little wicked gate. A wicked means of evil or bad. So why the author call it a wicked gate? Because the through the wicket gate the wizened warder led them through. Wizened warder means an old age warder. So he was fascinated by the gold bribed by the enemies. So being bribed, he led the enemies through the wicket gate. So that's why the author called the wicket gate as a wicked gate. Next, fifth stanza. Oh, then our maze of tunneled stone grew thin and treacherous as air. The cause was lost without a groan, the famous citadel overthrown, and all its secret galleries bare. So, maze means intricating and confusing paths. So, here our maze of a tunneled stone. So, the famous citadel was known for its secret paths and tunnels, as you seen in the picture. Secret galleries and its intricating paths. But the enemies entered the castle through these tunnels and galleries without any difficulty. The enemies did not even strain a nerve to overthrow the citadel. No bloodshed and no pain, no sweat marked the conquering done by the foes ironically. So the fortified castle turned to be a nothing but a paper castle. The cause was lost without a groan. The reason for the fall of the castle was done by the enemies without any pain or cry by the brave soldiers. So here the word groan means lament or cry. So here the enemies entered through the castle without any pain. The famous citadel overthrown and all its secret galleries bare. The castle citadel means a strong, a safe fort. Here the castle is also meant for citadel. The famous citadel overthrown. The castle was defeated and captured for gold, and all its complicated structure was blown like a vapor. The fortified castle turned to be a paper castle. So last and final stanza. How can this shameful tale to be told? I will maintain until my death we could do nothing being sold. Only our enemy was gold and we had no arms to fight it with. So how can this shameful tale to be told? So tale means a story. So here the narrator is totally shattered by the defeat. He understands and believes that however well he defeats the cause, the people would question his inefficiency. So uh, he ashamed of expressing it as it would be down his image. The view of the narrator, though debatable, has enough substance to condemn. The narrator wishes to die along with the thought process of infamous happening instead of confessing their inability. The poet Edwin Muyer's a persuasive style is well exhibited through the words. So we got nothing being sold. Our only enemy was gold. So here the quieted line is packed with irony and bring to light the evil side of the human beings. Gold, the inanimate thing, conquers the human beings. So Edwin Muir's poem has Edwin Muir's poem has a fitting climax. The words views the gullible nature of human beings. So the selfish, greedy warder worshipping Mammon accepting gold brought the downfall for the castle and the inhabitants. So that is the end of the castle being overtaken by the enemies without any fight. They captured the enemies by bribing the bribing the old wizened warder. Thank you. I hope you all understand